you are thinking about moving into a 55 and over community, or maybe you're just looking to learn a little bit more about what it's really like to live in one. Whether you're researching this topic for yourself or for someone you love, I'm glad you found this video. 55 and over communities can be a great fit for many, but there are some potential drawbacks you may want to consider before you forge into that next chapter of your life. Seeing as you clicked on this video, you're probably already familiar with the many perks and benefits that these kind of communities can offer, but perhaps you're curious to hear about some potential problems or drawbacks. Our goal is to ensure that you have the information you need to make the best decision for you and your lifestyle. Here is a list of 5 potential problems or drawbacks we want you to be aware of. Okay, the first potential con that I want you to know, many 55 and over communities have very detailed and rigid rules regarding pets, and some don't allow pets at all. Those that do allow pets usually have very set regulations and restrictions. For example, oftentimes the size and weight of a pet is set pretty firmly, with some even requiring periodic weigh-ins. So if Miss Fluffy likes to eat a lot and she gains some weight, that could potentially be a big problem for you and certainly for Miss Fluffy. Multiple research studies have shown us that pet ownership can be instrumental for our mental and emotional wellness. Thankfully, many 55 and over communities fully embrace that. They just also put into effect rules to ensure that all the residents, so both those with 4 legs or just 2, can live there peacefully. So you will just need to be sure you fully understand the ins and outs of the community's pet policy. Moving on to drawback number 2. When the time comes, the resale market for homes in 55 and over communities will be, of course, narrowed, which of course makes sense, seeing as the potential buyer pool will obviously be limited based on age. So it can sometimes be a little bit more challenging to sell these homes, simply because we won't be marketing it out to as wide of an audience. That all said, across Boise and the Treasure Valley, we've really seen the retirement community and population grow over the past several years. There are always buyers looking for homes in these communities. And what's more, they tend to not only know what they want and to be highly motivated, but they also almost always have experience with the home buying process, which can oftentimes make them more action ready than other buyers. On this note, another thing I want you to be aware of is that in these communities, there are often rigid restrictions on how homes that are listed for sale can be marketed. Typically, they don't allow signs to be posted or flyer boxes or open houses. That said, if you are working with a great agent who has a solid grasp on both the housing market and a tried and true marketing toolbox with effective tactics and tools that they are ready to deploy, you shouldn't have any problem selling. Do you have adult children? If so, that leads me to potential con number 3. And no, I'm not saying having a kid was a mistake you made all those years ago. If you have adult children, and let's say this is your second home and that your children now live out of state, they will not be able to come down unsupervised. That's right. They may be 40 now with families of their own, fantastic jobs, and well, they could be the most respectable people ever. But if you aren't there to supervise them during their stay, your 55 and over community will likely object. Or say you have grandchildren. Of course, your grandchildren will be hankering to get into that gorgeous community pool, but not so fast. The vast majority of 55 and over communities have set time restrictions and regulations. In addition, many also have visit duration limits and caps. Across the Boise area, 2 weeks, so 14 days, is pretty standard. But hey, on the flip side, if you know that while you certainly love your family, you also certainly love saying goodbye before everyone tires of each other, you have the perfect excuse. Just as Benjamin Franklin once said, guests like fish begin to smell after 3 days. So to each their own. Moving on to con number 4. 55 and over communities are notorious for having commando-like restrictions and regulations that are strongly enforced, which, well, fair enough. Some of these restrictions might be exactly what you're looking for and right up your alley. But then again, sometimes we all get just a bit irritated when we're made to feel like we can't do what we want in and around our own homes. When you're the king of the castle one minute and then the next you have someone telling you that planting a garden isn't an option, that can be a bit frustrating. For some folks, these sort of rules get old real quickly. On the same note, rigid HOAs, so homeowner associations, seem to be a common complaint that we've heard. So if you are already weary about HOAs, this is something you will definitely really want to investigate, and just so we can make sure that we're clear on all the details before we put in that offer. Potential con number 5. You might think that living in a community with kids is noisy, chaotic, and just something that you are just over. But sometimes, once people move into 55 and over communities, they find that they actually really miss the liveliness of their previous neighborhood. To some, it can feel a bit dull to have no one around other than people of similar ages, and or the occasional family member who can't stay very long. Then again, maybe not. You are likely at a place in your life that you are very clear about what you do and do not like, and what you're looking for in a community setting. I have often read the claim that we are the average of the 5 people that we hang around with the most. And I can see how, for some, this might be true in a wider context. But then again, you know yourself, you know your likes and dislikes. It's a personal choice for everyone and one that you will need to make on your own. I hope this quick video provided you with some useful information. If you would like to check out some of the 55 and over communities in and around Boise's Treasure Valley, please call or text us at 208-598-3040. There are so many options available, from golf and resort-like communities to gated communities to active adult neighborhoods. We'd welcome the opportunity to help you explore them all. Have a great day.